The sexual division of labor can be traced back all the way to ancient civilizations in Egypt, China, and Greece. These societies prioritized expanding their militaries in order to protect their agricultural surpluses. Those physically controlling the surplus were men, who aimed to control women's reproductive capacities in order to expand their domains. This is the origin of the power structure that we now classify as a patriarchy. During and post-industrial revolution, the majority of labor movements aimed to stop child labor, provide health benefits, and aid injured workers. The first women-led union occurred after mass movements for workers right at the Lowell Mills. This feat would come almost 100 years before women had the right to vote. In 1955, Dolores Huerta, a civil rights and labor activist, joined the scene. Huerta was raised in a farm worker community in Stockton, California. Both of her parents were active in civic organizations, and her father would often tell Huerta stories about his mining union's attempt at organizing. Huerta herself experienced marginalization because she was Hispanic, and aimed to become a teacher to correct the injustices that she could. Huerta would help found the National Farm Workers Association in California at just 30 years old. During her time in the NFWA, Huerta organized to boycott low wages that were as low as 70 cents an hour in brutal conditions. As an ongoing activist, Huerta faced extreme violence by the police, having them break 6 of her ribs. During protests, her and others would get rifles pointed at them, sprayed with sulfur, and threatened to get run over. Huerta is also the originator of the famous phrase, "Si se puede," the rallying cry used to inspire other labor groups. Huerta was also working adamantly to stop sexual assault and harassment directed towards farm worker women. There is generally a fear for women to report sexual harassment because not only would their jobs be on the line, but the well-being of their family is on the line as well. Huerta didn't expect any recognition for the work she was doing in advancing the feminist movement. However, she has since recognized the importance of her role in being a feminist. She now states, "A surge of women who are not only running for office, but getting elected. That could be an incredible amount of difference in our world. We will never have peace in a world until feminists take power." In Huerta's words, a feminist is a person who supports a woman's reproductive rights, who supports a woman's rights to an abortion, who supports LGBT rights, who supports workers and labor unions, somebody who cares about the environment, who cares about civil rights and equality and equity in terms of our economic system. That is a feminist. Dolores Huerta made great strides for workers' abilities to unionize and have their voices heard. In the United States, public support for labor organizing has risen to its highest level in decades. In fact, in 2022, 71% of people in the U.S. approved of labor unions. However, union membership continues to decline. In 1983, 20.1% of wage and salary workers were union members. In 2021, it dropped to just 10% of the workforce. The statistics of the current-day unions also show great division. Men continue to have higher membership rates than women, though the gap between union membership rates for men and women has narrowed considerably since 1983, when the rates were 24.7 for men and 14.6 for women. Within our own community, there are several labor movements. Firstly, there is the State Employees Bargaining Agency Coalition, or SEBAC. This is a union for all state employees. Because UConn is a state school, all of our professors, facility workers, and dining hall workers fall under this umbrella and use SEBAC to help them negotiate with the state and with the university to earn fair pay. Student workers fall under a different umbrella in the eyes of the law, and therefore they require their own union. If not a union, they require people to advocate for them. Currently, there is a student organization called UConn Student Labor Action Coalition, or USLAC. This organization has just started and is working to advocate for better conditions for student workers across campus. Though it's just beginning, you can participate by filling out their anonymous form about what the student workers of UConn need for support. You could also check out their Instagram for more details. You might be asking yourself, why is unionizing important? Simply put, it's a protection from exploitation. With unions being less popular than before, a larger population of America is at risk of being exploited by their bosses and the conglomerates that employ them. Unions work by establishing a pact between employees that if they don't get the resources and fair pay that they need from their company, they will all leave. The idea is that we are stronger together. According to the Center for Economic and Policy Research, young workers represented by unions earn higher wages and are more likely to have health insurance and retirement benefits that are paid for by their employer. Workers who are union members earn on average $1.3 million more over the course of their careers. Overall, trade unions have been an essential force for social change, having pushed forward the safety, salary, and living conditions of workers for centuries. Women like Dolores Huerta have always paved the way for labor movements, and women continue to bear the brunt of labor inequalities. Without unions, a decent and humane society for workers is impossible under a system that works to exploit them.